Greetings, ladies and metalgens, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Arboreal Species, written by MarlynnOfMany. We had plenty of options for ways to keep occupied while waiting for the client to show up and collect his delivery. Several of the crew were playing card games with the captain, using a delivery crate as a table, and she was beating the pants off them all. Though none of these particular aliens wore pants. You know what I mean. Some of the others waited inside the ship, declaring boredom with a particular patch of exotic wildness. The rest chatted with crew from the ship that arrived after us, which was also delivering cargo for the same late-to-arrive local. They had plenty to complain about. They also had food to share, and a decent chance that it would be edible by those who shared it with. While alien food roulette was always exciting, I'd found a much better option. "Hey, they tell me your species climbs things," the stranger from the other ship had said, his long snout curling into a smile. She looked like a mix of a 3/4 baboon and a 1/4 crocodile. "You're right," I replied easily. There weren't many climbing opportunities in our little courier ship, and I was curious where this was going. The alien pointed at a huge tree on the edge of the landing pad, which boasted a smooth orange bark with branches every couple feet. "I'm going to climb that. Care to join me?" "Would I ever," I said, already heading towards it. I called back over my shoulder, "If you guys need me, I'll be up the tree." Captain Sunlight didn't even look away from the game. She just waved distractedly, her scaly face intent on whatever play Mer had just made. He was chuckling about it and rubbing his tentacles together in a way that was probably a bluff. As I looked away, he made a noise that said the good captain had just wrecked his clever plan. Trilly hissed with laughter. None of them cared that I was about to climb to a dangerous height. None thought this was out of character in the slightest, and all of them were missing out on the excellent climbing experience. It was a great tree. The bark was smooth but not slippery, reminding me of a madrone tree from back home, just without the flaky outer layer, and it didn't feel as cold. If anything, it was warm as we scampered skyward, almost as if the tree welcomed a good climb by people who'd appreciate it. The alien stopped, picking a branch to sit on and leaning back against another. "Now this is a nice view." I had to agree. It is. I found my convenient pair of branches, draping my arms over the top and finding a nice footrest on a third. Everybody down there doesn't know what they're missing. The forest around the landing pad was bright with oranges and yellows, the kind of vivid colors that I associated with autumn, but which could have been year-round here. Rolling hills lined the horizon, with rivers sparkling merrily in the distance. The only straight line was a road. It made a nice counterpoint to all the gentler, natural shapes. My new friend cupped a hand to her snout unnecessarily. "Hey, everybody down there, you should come up and see this view." To no one's surprise, she got a chorus of no thanks. I shook my head. Such a shame. They're missing out on all the knowledge that comes from above, too. "Hey, paint!" I yelled down to the crewmate who had just dropped a box of round things. "One rolled under the ramp, and 2 are over in the grass," I pointed out to them. A distant thank you reached my ears. The alien nodded. "Wisdom of the heights, indeed. What else can we see that those on the ground can't?" We spent a good few minutes pointing out things to each other when swapping stories. Apparently, her people were called the Farsights, for exactly this reason. "Oh, motion on the road," she declared, squinting into the distance. "Looks like somebody's in a rush to be a little less late." "Well, that ship has launched," I said, following her gaze. "Nice thought, though. Say, is that 1 car or 2? The Farsight didn't answer immediately, which made me worry a little. Then she said, "Uh-oh," which made me worry a bit. "Uh-oh, what?" She stood up, and the branch bellowed, "Incoming! Client's being chased by hostile fauna." Oh, geez, now I could see it too. Something large and antlered galloping after the little surface skipper. Both were heading straight towards our landing pad. Chaos erupted down below as we slid off our perches and scampered downward. The bark was still friendly smooth. "I think that creature eats these," my friend said, bounding out towards the end of the branch to snake loose a bundle of round seed pod things. "I've seen them before." "Will it matter?" I asked, slowing. "It looks pretty mad." "Can't hurt." I couldn't argue with that. There were more than a few seed pods waiting in my path down, all which came loose with a little judicious bouncing on the branches. When I hit the ground, it was in a sea of baseball-shaped plant bits. The rest of the crew were scrambling to move crates and dash into ships for anything weapon-like. A handful of beefy individuals from the other crew lined up to stare the thing down as it approached, and my ship's biggest and scariest hurried to join them. Trilly claimed a place in front, with her black and red carapace gleaming in the sun. Pincher arms spread wide. She left space for the skimmer to zip past, but only just. I grabbed seed pods, making a basket with my shirt. "Will we need these? Is it going to stop?" Beats me," said my new friend. She grabbed an armload and ran. "Let's find out." I raced after. We joined the lineup just before the gigantic whatever it was skidded to a halt, rearing to paw the air and roar thunderously. The guy in the skimmer was trying to park behind our ship. The various scaly aliens yelled back at the huge moose rhino. "How well can you throw?" asked my friend, not waiting for an answer. She dumped her armload and started chucking seed pods. "Pretty well." I didn't bother dropping mine, just grabbing them one by one from my shirt basket and aiming for their head. I didn't count how many of those direct shots were me, but I'm going to say that most of them. The pods burst into squishy fruit with a solid core, doing a great job at annoying the creature as well as coating it with presumably tasty purple goo. Its 4 feet hit the ground with teeth-rattling thud. It roared some more, but half-heartedly, like it was just trying to save face at this point. My friend, the far side, had run out of seed pods, and I gave her some of mine. While our crewmates did their best threat displays, we pelted the dangerous beastie with fruit until it turned to lope in another direction. I made sure to throw a few on the road near it, in case it felt like picking up a bite to eat on the way. It didn't, but I did see a tongue lick out as it turned its back on us. Belatedly, Cavlay and X-Skin skidded out of our ship with a stun gun, at the same time as a couple of people from the other. Was that a rocket launcher or a flare gun? None of which turned out to be necessary. "Take that and eat it," crowed the far side. "Yeah," I agreed. "It's probably delicious." "It probably is, actually," she said, as the congratulations started to pour in. I picked up a seed pod I'd dropped and sniffed it. "Smells a bit like kumquat." Captain Sunlight, busy trying to coax the client out of his vehicle, yelled across the landing pad, "Don't eat that until X-Skin runs it through the Mediscanner." Really?" I complained, perfectly in sync with my new friend. "Yes, really." She shook her lizardly head. I couldn't make out her mutterings from here, but I could guess that it was about omnivores and habits, self-preservation instincts, absurd tree-climbing species, or all of the above. The far side said, "If these are safe, I'm taking some back with me." "Even if they're not, the seas would make good souvenirs," I pointed out, putting at the pod where it had separated. "Look at how perfectly round they are." "Oh, yeah, those are nice." Trilly stalked past with a haughty tilt to her antennae. "You two get along far too well." "It's like 2 seeds in a pod," Farsight quipped. That made me smile. Hey, my people say that too. We had plenty to talk about while everybody else handled the actual delivery we were there for. Eventually, X-Skin did check the thing over the Mediscanner. It tasted like sour kumquat. The seeds cleaned up nicely. And most importantly, my new friend had family with a whole enclave at the next space station my ship was planning to visit, and they had a climbing structure 3 stories high. I couldn't wait. The rest of the crew thought that the sounded pointless and dangerous, of course, but none of them had ancestors who danced through tree branches, so clearly they have no taste. End of story. I would just quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Dragon Soup, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Red Panda 121, Leslie 517, Bushmaster 177, Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Sans the Skeleton, Lightjock, Dragzoon WRE, and Lord Azricol. Thank you very much.